Northbound side, that place remains closed following an explosion. Govan Whittles is at the scene for us to show us what it is that you are seeing, Govan.
Good afternoon, Dudu. Coming to you from the N1 North. They're busy cleaning up the scene of the explosion here. Just take a look at what happened. You'll see over here that they've thrown sand on the highway. This is where the flames were. Just behind this Drizzit environmental truck, you'll see the leakages from the fuel, and we'll try to give you as much visuals as possible. They've cleared it up now, so the tanker that was being carried on the back of a mini truck was carrying 1,000 litres of fuel. It exploded, caught fire, and then one person who was driving in an Audi behind the tanker was injured. That person has since been taken away to hospital by the emergency services. The Audi has also been removed from the scene. You'll see the firefighters sitting on the side of the road here. Of course, they're still getting to or coming to terms with what exactly happened here. We saw the driver just off camera being interviewed by the police. We also saw a relative of the person who was injured. Let's bring into the conversation Olile Khumalo. She's with the Johannesburg Emergency Services. Ms. Khumalo, thank you so much for your time. Just tell us exactly what happened here.
Good afternoon. Well, from what we've heard from the officials on duty and on scene and the driver himself, he says he was driving on the second lane close to the first lane. So what he did was somebody just abruptly hit his brake in front of him, so he had to hit his brakes as well. So because the road is slopey, he couldn't control the vehicle, so it hit the other car in front of him, causing that car to hit another car. So in that meanwhile, during the collision, the tanker that he was carrying in his Mahindra small truck got loosened.
Was it raining?
During the time, I can't really say, maybe drizzling.
All right. Did he say why he was carrying the fuel tank on the back of a trailer?
He's not parting with the details. Actually, he's being very cagey. He's not even sharing the information of where is he from, which company.
So what was the fuel for? Did he say?
He's not saying. He's just saying he was in an emergency. He was told to transport the diesel from one point to another, and all those are not disclosed.
Right. What's the extent of the spillage here on the highway?
It's quite minimal. It's less than 2,000 litres. We're not saying that's not dangerous, but it's not as huge.
So is it causing, we see that you've put down sand here and now they're sweeping up the sand. Is this going to lead to the highway being closed for a prolonged period because of a risk to other vehicles driving here? Or do you think you could clear it so other vehicles can drive it?
Okay, so we've spoken to the spill tags. They're saying since it's not a big incident, they will be able to clear the road before peak hour.
All right. There's some questions about why this person was carrying the tanker on the back of a truck. Is that the normal way to transport the fuel in this instance, or is that out of protocol?
It is allowed to carry diesel. It was diesel. It is allowed to carry such a tanker, but the person must have a permit to carry. So we're not sure whether he does have a permit right now. We're still trying to clarify that with him.
All right. What else are you looking at with regards to this accident?
I'm not sure in what basis maybe you're basing your question on, like...
I mean, is there any other damage that was caused here that needs to be cleared, or are there any other emergency services units that will be coming to the scene?
No, everybody who's supposed to be here is here. Everyone is present.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Olile Khumalo. She's a representative from the Johannesburg Emergency Services. Let's just join this conversation again. We want to get some more details on the person that was injured. Mr. Khumalo, you were talking about someone that was injured. We heard about one person who was in the Audi. Just tell us, was that person injured by the fire that was started? Or was she injured by the collision of the vehicle?
The collision, the impact of the cars colliding with each other. So no, nobody got affected by the flames or the fire.
There have been descriptions of this as an explosion. Was there an explosion here?
You may say, but not to such an extent. The spillage caused the fire. The spillage from the diesel tanker. Yeah.
All right. And what's the status of the person who was injured?
She's all right. She's fine. Yeah. She's not badly injured.
All right, we do understand she's been taken to hospital. Thank you so much. Olele Kumalo here, speaking to us here at the scene of the accident on the highway. We'll leave you with these visuals from the accident scene. You see that they're picking up the sand. They're cleaning up at this point. It does seem like they're almost done. They haven't put sand on the entire spillage area. But as we heard there from emergency services, they believe that they've done enough to reopen the highway before peak hour. There does seem to have been a significant burn that's taken place on the highway here. But as she said, the person that was injured from the collision. It does appear to have been a multi-vehicle collision caused by someone putting on the brakes unexpectedly, and then the person that was carrying the at least 1,000 litres of diesel doing the same, and that causing the spillage in the tanker and eventually leading to a fire. That's it from the N1 North Highway. We'll keep an eye on this scene, make sure that it's cleared properly, but it does look like they'll open within the next few hours.
Govan, just before we let you go, are we able to see what you are seeing as you are facing us in terms of the backlog of traffic?
We can't show you the entire backlog of traffic, but let's attempt to do so. What we can show you at this point is some of the emergency services vehicles. They've essentially left this area or created a cordoned off area, which is about 500 meters before you see the backlog of the traffic. What we will try to show you now, though, is the tanker that exploded. We do think that it's still on the back of the truck, towards the rear of this cordoned off area that I've described. You'll see here in frame now Gauteng Traffic Police, the South African Police, JMPD. Of course, we saw there the Environmental Disaster Unit. We also saw the Joburg Emergency Services, the Fire Brigade. That tanker should be coming into frame now. If you could see it on the back of one of the trucks that's being used by the emergency services here. Trying to spot the driver. He was in this area a little bit earlier, not here at the moment anymore. He was being spoken to by the Johannesburg Emergency Services as well as the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. This is the tanker. Take a look at it. Looks like it not only leaked, but there was some sort of explosion. At least something that was powerful enough to cause the rupture. And they've loaded it on the back there. It does look like it's a standard use tanker. Of course, it sustained a lot of damage. Not really certain about the specifications of what's required. But you'd see that the cordoned off area on the highway extends well over a kilometer. Around that bend is where you find Malibongwe. And that's really where the traffic begins. So unfortunately we can't show you the extent of the backlog on the highway, but there is still some investigation that's going on here. Looks like they'll be here for at least another hour, but they do aim to open this stretch of highway, which goes all the way up to William Nicol before peak hour, which starts in about 2 to 3 hours.
Govan Whittles, thank you very much for that comprehensive update.